Hello, Grade 5. Welcome to Lesson 4, Part 2, Qatari Community Components. So at the end of the lesson, you should be able to first identify Qatari community components. So we will recall different concepts like the concept of community and the Aldaza. And values that we will learn at the end of the lesson would be participation in activities held by the foundations, which are working on preserving or taking care of customs and traditions of the Qatari community. So let's begin by reviewing information in page 36. So we know from our previous discussions that there are three main components of Qatari community. First would be the natural components, consisting of land, marine environment, or the seas and oceans around that land, and ordinary life. Next, you have your human components, consisting of population, meaning the number of people living in a certain place, economy, okay, which talks about the wealth and the capability of a community to sustain itself, and politics or the method of governance, okay. Last, you have cultural components consisting of religion, language, and values, customs, and traditions, meaning the morals and also the practices that we have in the community, what we think, what we do, what we eat, and also what we wear. Now, the above figure identify the most prominent or most important components of the Qatari community. We will be explaining them again one by one. So we know that natural components would include the location, geographical location, like this map, okay? And also the natural features consisting of landforms and waterforms, as well as multiple resources, plant and animal life, or the diverse nature of life, which are all reflected on the community identity and formation or the building of the community as a whole. Second, we have the human components, which include the people that live in Qatar. So we're not only talking about citizens, but also residents, or those people who were born in other countries but are residing or living in Qatar. And also the relationship between them, which are based on respecting each other, accepting each other, and tolerating differences or appreciating the differences amongst the people living in the community. And it also includes various economic activities that contributed to the progress and development of the Qatari community. So the human components of the Qatari community talk about how residents and citizens work hand in hand for the development of society. Now, for cultural components, we have different generations that contribute over time to form the culture of society. So these are our ancestors and forefathers that have passed down literature, customs and traditions, and other practices to us, people in the present. And the formation of the Qatari culture comes from several components or parts. We have the Islamic religion, which is the state religion of Qatar, the Arabic language, the official language of the Quran, and also of the government institutions in the country, and intergenerational customs and traditions, meaning the different practices and common values or behaviors that all members of the community agree upon. Now we'll proceed to our activity on page 42. So first, we are to collect pictures of Souq Waqif showing its traditional architectural features. Okay, so you have the option of printing pictures, or if you don't have access to a printer, you can draw. So I've done the first two boxes for you. Here you have a glimpse of the traditional stores and markets of Souq Waqif. And here, a quick sight and glimpse of the Al Fanar Spiral Mosque. Okay, so you need to find 4 more pictures to fill out the 4 remaining boxes. After doing that, you have page 43 activity. Okay, so question 1, choose the correct answer. So you can go back to the previous pages, pause the video anytime you need to so you can answer the items correctly. First one, among the natural components of the Qatari community are, is it letter A, religion and people, letter B, earth, letter C, economy, or D, customs and traditions? So the answer in here should be earth, okay? Why? Because natural components would mean land or earth, marine environment, and ordinary life. Okay, so we know that religion and people, religion specifically would belong to cultural components, people would belong to human components. Economy is a human component, and customs and traditions are both under cultural components. Second one, among the cultural components of the Qatari community are letter A, Islamic religion and Arabic language, letter B, marine environment, C, economic system or economy system, or D, the political system. So this time, you have to answer the item by yourself. So again, go back to the previous pages so you would know in the concept map, you would find the answer. You would know which of the following would belong to cultural components. So at the bottom of page 43, you have the continuation of the activity. So question 2, write the basic components of the Qatari community. There are 3. So the first component is the natural component, as we have discussed. Now, what are the last 2 components? Question 3, answer the following. So I'll guide you through a couple of questions and then the rest of it you have to do by yourself. First, what is the Qatari community's role in preserving customs and traditions? So we, as members of the Qatari community, should take care of customs and traditions, first by practicing them, and second by spreading awareness about these customs and traditions, meaning by sharing them to people of other cultures. Second one, shed light on the most common Qatari traditions in Ramadan. So I think this should be an easy question for you to answer. What do you think are the practices that adults and children do during the month of Ramadan? Please note them down. And number 2. 3, explain the natural components of the Qatari community. So go back to the previous pages and try and conclude what consist natural components. Okay, so as we know from previous discussion, natural components would include land, marine life, and ordinary life. Okay, so please note these down on the blanks. Now for 4 and 5, you have to jot down the answers yourself. Okay, so 4, mention the cultural components of the Qatari community, and 5, mention the human components of the Qatari community. So how do you submit your outputs? Okay, so please take photos of pages 42, the architectural features of Souq Waqif, and 43, the different activities, and upload these photos in Schoolwork tab under S2 Week 2 Outputs. And I will be waiting for your outputs so I can check them and grade them. So that's it for Lesson 4, Qatari Community Components. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.